And welcome to the Breakfast Blend with Mac and Morgan. I'm Mac.
I'm Morgan.
And today, there will be no jokes. There was no news, to be completely honest. Actually, that's not true. There is news. There's always news. Just none of it was fucking interesting.
Dry news.
It was terrible. Like I saw a guy who was talking about how, I make games for the passion of it. You know, I don't make games for money. I make games because I want to make games. I'm sure that the money doesn't fucking hurt, though, does it?
Do it for free, then.
I wonder if you'd still be making games if you'd never made a dime from it. You know?
Highly doubt it.
Yeah. The one thing that I did see that I found interesting, and I just didn't even want to write a joke about it because I liked it, was that Sony this year, 40 of their executives are declining bonuses to let people know that they are serious about staying profitable, and it equals something in the neighborhood of $10 million, which would be the exact opposite direction that the Activision CEO took. He's like, can I take their bonuses?
Yeah,
As
I'm
I think
taking
what
their
he's saying.
$10 million.
I like it. I really think that does not occur in our culture, basically.
No.
No one's giving up their bonuses for the betterment of the company. They want their bit, and they're going to, if they have to, they're out.
Right.
I got my money, I'm gone. See ya. And I mean, $10 million amongst 40 people, so what is that, $250,000 each or something like that? That's a serious bonus.
Huge bonus.
I don't know what that is in the end.
No.
That's a huge bonus to us.
Right, to us it is. To them, you know.
So, what we are going to discuss is... You played Demon Souls.
I did.
Go ahead.
I thought you were going to ask me a question.
What, did you like it? Did you hate it?
Both, actually.
Okay.
So
start with what you like.
The opening scene.
Oh, with the fight?
I loved it. It was great, yeah.
The cinematic where he, the big giant thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Like a dragon with 2-layer teeth and...
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
The craziness.
Unfortunately, the rest of the game looks nothing like that.
No, not at all. I was very disappointed at the beginning after watching that. I love that you could interact with the dead bodies instead of just walking over them and nothing happens. It's just a stationary object on the ground. You could actually kick them around.
Oh, yeah. They still had physics.
Yeah. They would get tangled up in your feet. I killed one guy and he ended up on my shoulder. I loved it. That was fun. That was probably
that is kind of cool.
The best part of the game for me.
I do like that. Were you able to upgrade at all? Did you get enough souls to do anything?
No, not really.
Okay.
No upgrades. I collected a lot of, is it moongrass?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was really pissed off about that because I would be in the middle of fighting somebody and I would have to pause and eat some moongrass.
There's a way to set it.
Is there?
Yeah, that you can set it and you will do it while you're active. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
Because he would just stand there and beat on me while I'm chewing on this fucking grass.
Yeah, there's no pause when you go into your inventory. They make it realistic, but I'm pretty sure that there's a way to set that to a button, a hot button, so you can just do it. Because I remember I fought a guy, a human being that came into my realm. My realm was invaded, and the guy and I were pounding on each other, and then it was funny because we almost always would step back from each other to toss a potion or something to get some help. And I'm like, oh, he's doing it! No, get him!
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a way around that.
I didn't care for that at all.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the difficulty curve that they want to instill. It took me... Seriously, I almost quit playing the game because I didn't understand that you had to spend the souls to improve. So I asked the girl that you do that. You go to her and she uses them. And the way she said it to me was like, do you want to... I can't remember what the phrasing was, but she basically was like, do you want to improve yourself with these souls? But she said it in such a shitty way that it was like, I felt guilty. I'm like, oh, is there some mechanic that's like, if you don't use these souls in this manner, that it'll help you in the end? Like an chaos and good kind of balance thing going on, because that's pretty common. No, not at all. That was just the way she read that line. And so I went through the game getting my ass kicked for 4 hours, just going through, collecting souls, dying, running back to my body to get the souls, going, am I supposed to save these? Is that what I'm doing? I'm going through this entire world just trying to collect all the souls to save it? I didn't understand. And then finally I went online and read that, yeah, it's just currency.
I wouldn't have known, but you talked about it. Was it the last show?
No, we talked offline. We were
okay.
discussing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, there's no indication, which I get. That's part of it, is that you're supposed to explore and experience and slowly figure it out. But here's the thing that I am curious about, because when I was playing it, they still had the servers up. Mm-hmm. Did you see glowing text on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. Were they all kind of the automatic responses?
No, you had to stop and then push X to read it.
But the things that were said, did they seem kind of canned? Like, here's where...
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think the servers are up anymore. It used to be that you and other players could leave messages on the ground, and then if they were... I don't know if it was if they were geographically close to you, or if they were just on a server that your game linked up with. Mm-hmm. But you would see in your reality messages other players had put.
That would be kind of cool.
And you could you could request help, and if you liked the comment, because you could like the comment or dislike it, because some people would be dicks, and they'd be like, right at the edge of a cliff, they'd be like, jump down for treasure.
Yeah,
and there's fucking nothing there. It just kills you. And
yeah, so I like that. That's awesome.
It was pretty funny. Yeah. Maybe not the first time, but once you got the idea. But you could also see other people running around, ghostly figures. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that's the server or if that's part of the... I know that it used to be that it was also people. I think it might be there's some generic ones that are in there, NPCs.
Well, it kind of confused me for a second, because I'm like, what the hell is this? Is this going to be something that turns into something I have to battle?
Right.
So I was chasing it around, swatting at it, Yeah. Like, all right.
Did you ever figure it out, or is this now you realize?
Once I figured, I kept swatting, and nothing was happening, nothing was manifesting.
Right.
I just quit.
It's supposed to be another person playing the same world as you.
Gotcha.
And so you can watch them get killed. Mm-hmm. That's what was really cool, is someone would run past you, the ghostly figure, and they would run past you, and then they'd die. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't see how they die, but you knew they died right there, because they'd go, and fall. And so then you knew there was something dangerous up there. Mm-hmm. That was a cool little clue. But what I was saying with the messages, if you like them, disliking them, if there were enough dislikes, then you knew that was a bullshit message. Mm-hmm. But if it had a bunch of likes, then it was usually true. But also, someone could say, if they put up a message, if you read the message and liked it, it would give them health. So if they were at a boss battle, they'd set that marker on the ground, and if you ran past it, you could do it, and then it would give them some health. It was a way to help out other players.
I like that.
It was cool. Then alternatively, they let you invade someone else's realm and just kill them. So, it can go either way. So, I guess they don't have the servers up, but maybe it's odd that they would offer it for free, and there's not some kind of functionality.
When I started the game, it said I had to connect to the server.
So maybe
it took that loading time to connect.
I mean, that could just be part of the game, they didn't change it.
Right.
But it would be nice to know that. I just had heard that they were shutting them down, because they have the new one out now.
Right.
And it has the same concept. Different. You know what? I'm not even going to talk shit. I have that game. It's downstairs. Never played it. I'm assuming it's the same, because that's what I read, but I'm sure it's incorporated slightly differently. But anyway, are you going to continue with the game, or are you pretty much done?
No, I deleted it.
And you didn't do Zombie Tycoon either, did you?
What's it? No, I didn't. Very dark, depressing, like you said before.
It is, right?
Gives you a real heavy feeling, the environment.
Yeah,
everything
it weighs
around
on you. It's
lots of torches everywhere.
Something awful happened here.
Yeah.
There was... Oh, man, you probably didn't even get to you didn't get to the walkway that you run along where the dragon swoops down.
No.
Man, that was freaky, because this dragon just keeps swooping down, and you run, and he flames the whole thing, and you have to time your run to dart across, and then he changes, and he goes to the next segment, and you got to do it again. But then there's enemies in the way and all the shit, and you got to get into the guard towers. And the first time, when I died on that 10 times, and then I finally was like, oh, I can't do anything. And then I found out, and this is what was really cool about the game, that dragon is insane with its hit points. Eventually, later in the game, you actually can kill it. And there's 2 of them on that first level. There's 2 dragons. If you wander around, you can see them preening on a mountainside. But I ran up to the first tower, and I didn't trigger him into the next section, so he keeps swooping around and flaming that segment. And I got arrows, and I sat there for an hour, and every time he'd swoop through, I'd ping him once or twice with arrows. I eventually killed him. Like, and I was a little nothing character.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, they're not just set pieces that are completely indestructible. They are actually part of this environment, and you can either get powerful enough to just really take them on, or you can be really smart and sneaky. I mean, I'm sure I wasn't really meant to do that, but it worked.
It worked, so.
And I got a bunch of shit off of it. It was awesome. It's like, yeah! Of course, I couldn't use half those weapons, because you have to... Oh, hit the mic. You have to choose, like, the path you want to take. And shit gets heavy. Oh, I hated that. You can't roll now, because your shit's too heavy. Oh, I needed that roll. Did you even, should I say, monkey around with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love that. That was a great idea. Like, they couldn't hurt you. I'm out of the way. Dude, some of those enemies, even the low-level guys, would crush you on that first level.
The boss battle, I ended up in one boss battle, and...
Was it a knight or a giant slime thing?
It was a giant dragon. Not a dragon, but I'm not sure.
Some kind of creature?
Yeah, it was a creature, but it had a battle axe.
Oh.
And the reach on this thing was
insane.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah.
There was nothing I could do. I thought I jumped back far enough to where he would miss me. No.
Not a chance. No, that game's hard.
And every move I made, he would hit me.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it's a
that's where I quit.
Running away is actually a viable strategy in the game. As in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give it a 5.
Oh, 5?
A 5.
Out of
10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's not
like,
for you.
It's like I mean, I wouldn't say it's not for me, but
well, I mean,
not for me at the moment.
Right. I mean, it takes a huge investment of time, and yeah, I couldn't do it now either. What was there anything in it that just like stuck out that you were like, that is super awesome, I want to see that in more things? Not really.
No.
You just weren't feeling the game.
The interaction with the dead bodies. That was
neat. Yeah,
it was.
You need to play Skyrim, because then you can just pick up different parts of people's bodies and drag them by. You can drag them by their foot and shit. That was awesome. Which I know that there has to be probably 90% of the people who played Oblivion or Skyrim at some point took all the clothes off of a dead body
to see,
and then rolled it over so they could see the chick's underwear. I know it happened. You know what? This is funny. I know Skyrim is old, but I tried playing it again recently because I had all that downloadable content, and I had a deal set up with a merchant. And this speaks to the. I bring this up because of the interaction with an environment that is pervasive, just like you were saying with the body stay. I had a merchant that he was a dick, but he always made me laugh. Bellathor, I think was his name in the main town that I lived in. And so I started the game up again with all that new content, and then this courier runs up and he gives me all these fucking letters. And this is, I think we talked about this one. I didn't know what the fuck's going on. Well, it turns out one of the letters was telling me that I was bequeathed 100 gold coins by some guy that died. And it was Bellathor. Didn't know that, though. It had been so long since I played, I had no clue who was who or what. Still don't. I only know who Bellathor was because of this. I'm like, and then they taxed it for 10%. Like, oh, that goes to the realm. Okay, great. So I get I get these 90 gold coins. I have like 300,000 gold coins. The guy was such a skinflint. And so,
but it was nice of him.
I guess, yeah.
You know.
Well, I didn't know who it was, so I wanted to sell off a bunch of shit that was in my house, and I kept going to his shop, and it was locked, and it stayed locked. And normally, you'll wait outside. You can do a default wait period, and if you wait from the nighttime until when they're open, typically they are open. Occasionally, though, if you're facing the door or you're doing something wrong, it won't open because the person literally has to go to the store in the game. Like, so they're not just living there. They actually will leave and go somewhere. So he has to physically open the game. I mean the shop. And 3 days go by. It doesn't open. And finally I took a look. I was thinking about it, and I made the connection. I'm like, holy shit, he's dead. And then it linked up with when I had first shown up in this town, Whiterun, there was a pile of ash and a bunch of dead guards. And I'm like, holy shit, he got killed. Like, someone came in and killed the only shopkeeper in this town that I used regularly to sell my shit. And he had they had a limited amount of gold per day. So when you got a relationship and you invested and whatnot, they generated more gold, so you could trade more items. So this guy was like my key merchant, and I'm like, I'm fucked. And I tried to break in, and like everybody saw me. So I had to reset that, and he'll never come back. I looked it up.
Really?
It's over.
He's dead for good.
He's dead forever.
Character's gone.
The only thing I can do apparently is I can go. He has a tomb. You go to the local graveyard. He has a crypt, and I can pilfer his remains and steal his shop key, and then I can go in, which is nice. There's nothing in there I want.
Yeah,
it was him and his gold that I needed. I don't need the shit in his.
You wanted to sell your shit in your house.
Yeah, I make in the game. You're like, you can be a smith, whatnot. I make better shit than he ever had. He was just useful to offload shit. So that, but I have to say that's it. What it has forced me to do is now I went to another city and I'm starting that same relationship with someone else.
Find another pawn shop.
Exactly, that's basically what it is. It's Pawn Stars Skyrim edition. But it's cool though. I mean, yes, I'm disappointed, but I like the idea that it maintains this reality. And so now I have to deal with this outcome, and it's forcing me to actually hang out in another place. Which I never went anywhere but the town he was in. All the other cities, I only went there just to finish a quest or get one. Like after that, fuck it, I don't want to be there. You know, because the place starts to feel like home. You know, you always like that one level. That's what it was. Yeah. So, wow. Clearly, we had no news if we're now discussing fucking Skyrim. Okay. What are we at? Well, we still have some time. I thought we were at the wrap-up point. I thought there was something else that you wanted to mention other than
the Depression Quest.
Yes, there it is.
It's on Steam. Right?
It is
Steam.
Okay.
Yeah. It walks you through the life of somebody dealing with depression. I didn't play the game, but I did watch a YouTube video on it and got a general idea of how it works, which I found interesting because it really does.
It does. You're right. It really does. I will say
it's
that,
not just some bullshit.
Right.
You know,
it's not just a cash in or anything.
Yeah.
This is really trying to let people know. I agree that I think it is a fantastic concept. I will admit that I have in the past been rather intolerant of the concept of depression. I mean, I'm not Tom Cruise. I don't think that everything's fucking in your head. But I definitely did not have the level of sympathy that I now think I should have for this. Which it helped when I learned about the Depression Quest. I was in a class for abnormal psychology, and I was still having a rough time. Like I'm learning about it, and I'm seeing that, you know, I don't want to say that I blame people for it, but I definitely felt that a lot of people were claiming depression that weren't necessarily actually depressed.
Right.
They just didn't think their life was awesome. And I'm like, you know what? Mine isn't either.
Yeah.
But, you know, I drive on.
You got to push through.
Right. But there is, and while I still think that is true, that there are people that are just whiny bitches that just want someone to listen to them moan about their shit, I now definitely believe that there are more people than I had originally thought that suffer from what it looks like is an inability to understand that there are better alternatives. And that's really what it pointed out. It's
Do you think that's connected to a chemical imbalance? Or just situational? No,
what I think that there is the chemical imbalance factor. I think that there are some people that are like that, where it is actually just a brain chemistry thing. Definitely. I think that happens. I think, though, that the larger portion of depression that is diagnosed, or even not diagnosed, but that is experienced, is a cognitive dysfunction. That people get caught up in a pattern of thinking that is incorrect.
Which is very easy to do.
It is very easy to do. Like, for an example, if two people could be walking into a park, okay, and they both walk past the same person at different times, and that person turns and looks at them and, like, does that once over, top to bottom. Now, if it were, let's say, both of the people walking into the park that got the once over were both women. If it was a woman who was in a really good mood, confident about who she was and, you know, how she looked that day, she's going to feel like that dude was checking her out.
Yeah, it would be positive for her.
And that's how she would interpret it. But if it was someone who regularly did not feel so great about themselves, they would think that he was judging them. Not that they would, but that is a possible outcome for that. And that is self-fulfilling. It begets itself. Once you start to think that that's the way people are treating you and that's what you're worth, then all you do is seek confirmation of that. You have to change the way you think, which is cognitive therapy, and I believe in that. You have to show someone, but the only way for someone to know is they need to have it pointed out. And one of the things that they do now is for the cognitive therapy is every time you feel a certain way, write it down and write down why, and then you discuss it with the therapist. What made you feel that way? What did you think? And why do you think that? And are there any alternatives? And you slowly get trained to just perceive things differently. Because that's all we are, is the way we perceive things.
Right.
And if that perception becomes flawed or dysfunctional, it will then be pervasive in everything you do.
Snowball out of control.
Exactly. So if you can, but you have to want to change it.
Right.
Is the key. And that's typically the problem with depression is they don't think it can be changed, and they don't have any drive or impetus to make a change.
Yeah, they don't see the future.
Right, they don't see that option.
They just see right now and the way they feel.
Like we were saying, they just don't see it as an option. Just like right now, I don't see running down the street naked as an option. Not because I couldn't do it, but I don't see that I would, or why would I want to? And it's the same thing. It just doesn't occur to them as something that should or could happen. You know, I don't think that I can fly, so I'm not going to try and jump off the fucking roof. You know what I mean? And that's basically what it is. And I didn't get that. Years ago, I did not. And I was in a relationship with someone who, she said she had suicidal tendencies. I was never dismissive of it, you know, and I even went with her to couples therapy and whatnot, but I just don't get that. I would never. I have no intention of ending myself. This is the only round I get in my mind. So it is not an idea or a mindset that I can ever relate to. And holy shit, where did this conversation go? What the fuck? Okay, so Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Super Mario Brothers or something. Can we get
something
this shit
lighter
out of the dregs? Wow. So I'll be performing in Las Vegas, my self-help therapies and speaking tour. Catch me the weekend of the 19th. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Depression Quest. I highly recommend it. It certainly opened up my perspective, and I am not an easy man to convince of things. I'm not saying that I can't be. You just need to have a good argument.
Right.
And this was a fantastic argument, a great insight into the way someone thinks when they're depressed.
Yeah, and I think it's a great tool for somebody that's either living with or...
Oh, God, yes. That is
to
even
understand
better.
where they're coming from.
You're right. That's the true purpose of it.
We've both dealt with it on opposite sides of spouses, so you don't really get the full picture.
You can't. You really can't.
It's a good tool for that.
Honestly, I think if you're involved with someone who is suffering from it, you should play this game. You should experience it just to know what it's like, even if it's just a friend of yours. Like this, it is a massive education, and it's things that a lot of times people, I guess, I mean, I have to believe, a lot of people don't give a shit what happens in someone else's head. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, it's just like
I mean, that would explain a lot of the shit that happens out there. So, yeah, if you have any interest at all or any desire to relate to someone or to get a better understanding of someone you care about that may be suffering from depression, Depression Quest is a one-way ticket into a mind-opening experience.
There's our PSA.
Yeah, right? There's our good deed for the week.
Now cheer the fuck up.
Yeah, right? I will say I'm still trying to play Tomb Raider and epically failing. It cannot maintain my attention. The shaky cam is still pissing me off, but I've paid fucking money for it, so I must complete it. I really, God, do I wish I had rented it. It even occurred to me, I was like, normally I will just rent something before I make a purchase, but this was a half-price purchase, so it didn't feel... It was like, everybody loves it. I read the reviews, they were good. For some reason, no one mentioned the shit that pisses me off, though.
Yeah.
And... if that has made it clear from now on, I'm just going to wait. I mean, I normally wait anyway, but this was waited long enough. The thing got great scores, great reviews, so renting is still going to be my major methodology from now on. And I think Injustice: Gods Among Us is on sale this week at Toys R Us. for half price, I believe. I'm not going to buy it.
No?
I refuse.
Not even for fight night?
No, I don't think... Are you going to buy it?
I would. If it was a game we could both agree on to give it a shot, or we could go something old school, or...
Yeah, unfortunately, we're PS3, and all my fighting games are on the 360.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't... It just didn't do it for me. I may need to read up on it. Yeah. If
I love the characters. I'm not sure about the game itself.
Exactly. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't the DC license, I would have written it off already.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes me even slightly debate it. And if that's the only thing keeping me, that's not the right
That's
reason.
not enough.
It shouldn't be enough, really. Just a license should not be enough to make me want to play a game.
Right.
You know, particularly when I don't feel confident in the mechanics, having already tried them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that there are more characters, and supposedly it's a lot more interesting and deeper, but I just don't see it happening. If we can get a couple people involved in fight night, I think we need to come up with a different name for it. But
yeah, I think it's been done.
Yeah,
I didn't know what else to say.
I think someone else did that. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a once a month throwdown on a beatdown throwdown, whatever. For it would be neat to record it just to hear people screaming at each other.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure that's the game. But if that's the only one we find, what else is there? Fuck, I don't know. I'm not playing Dead or Alive, a bunch of jiggly boob shit. No, that ain't happening. So this may be the one. All right, I got nothing else, and I don't want to waste anyone else's time with my meaningless banter.
I need to give a shout out to Mr. Sniper Dragon on Twitter.
Okay.
He was my 20th follower.
Oh, well, that was.
Then I dropped down to 17.
But he's still there at the threshold.
I had to, because I told him. I said,
hey, he did.
I'm going to give you a shout out. So
and
there it is.
He earned it. It's not his fault that other people are douchebags. He did the right thing.
Thanks for following.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Sniper Dragon, is it?
Mr. Sniper Dragon.
Mr. Sniper Dragon.
Yes.
Is that an MR Sniper Dragon?
Yes.
MR Sniper Dragon. Well, thank you for following. Hopefully you'll actually listen all the way through this awful, awful version of the Breakfast Bunny.
It hasn't been bad. A little depressing.
It was depressing.
I'm going to go play Depression
It started
Quest.
dark and just went to pitch black. And then we dragged it back to a kind of muddy brown, I think.
Yeah. And we'll leave on that note.
All right. Well, you've been listening to The Breakfast Blend with Mac and Morgan. I'm Mac.
I'm Morgan.
And we'll catch you next week. And welcome to The Breakfast Blend. Oh.
One of those days.